Gotta get myself psyched up because I don't know if you can tell from my eyes, but I'm tired. Hey there, Internet. What do Eskimos use for their arts and crafts projects? Igloo. It's a pun. Life unedited, mostly. So, Internet, you know how I talk a lot about the fact that I don't like to be with other people and how I like to keep to myself for the most part, and how maybe I should change that? Well, for the new year, it's not really a resolution, but I've actually been trying to change that because I've been talking about changing it for like 3 years or something like that. Unfortunately, I came to the realization that I didn't really have any idea how I was supposed to go about changing that and how I was supposed to like being around people and like not being by myself. Of course, it's helpful when you have other friends that you can go and be around, but a lot of my friends are kind of the same way where they like to just keep to themselves or at least be within our own little friend group, and you know that doesn't really count. However, yesterday I discovered the #1 way to make yourself all kinds of awesome new friends and get out of your own little personal bubble, and that is, drumroll, don't know if you could hear that, talking to people. Oh my gosh! Now I know what you're thinking. Duh, you have to talk to people. Like, that's kind of the way life works, is you go up to people and you talk to them and they talk to you, and that's the world. But bear with me for a moment, because you see, I don't really like talking to people, and it's kind of this thing that I find really awkward and takes a lot of effort and takes a lot of time away from my own thought process, and I realized that that's exactly what I need, is I need something that forces me to pull out of my own little thought bubble and get into other people's thought bubbles every once in a while. And I've tried to use this to do that, and maybe this has helped spur me into having conversations with people in real life because I've learned how to talk about some things that actually matter. But over like the past week, I've actually started applying some of these things to real life and just talking to people who I don't really know all that well, and maybe I've just met them, but I came to the realization that people are actually pretty cool, and for the most part, unless they're like me, like to talk to you and like to be talked to and like to make new friends just like you maybe want to make new friends. And that kind of blew my mind, and I don't know if that's because I've just been so introverted for so long that I assumed everyone else was introverted and everyone else didn't like people, but they do, and they're pretty nice about it, and they have all kinds of interesting and fascinating and useful and helpful and good and beautiful things that they can pour into your life, and then you can go pour your cool things into their life. And I guess that's what friends and relationships and the world and people and life is kind of for, is doing that. So yeah. I don't think I realized when I started making this video that I had quite so many things going around in my head hole. But I think that's pretty much it. So my challenge for you, internet, webcam, electronic box people, is to try this in your own life. Go out over the next week or the weekend or whatever and talk to someone that you don't normally talk to. I don't care if there's someone in your class or someone you meet in the mall randomly when you're waiting in line. My dad does that all the time, and apparently it's socially acceptable. I don't know. But just talk to people and be friendly and live your lives. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play in like the 4 inches of snow that we're getting right now. Until next time, deuces.